Imagine a world where the women of Greece did not hide behind veils or stay silent in the shadows of their homes. A world where girls trained naked under the blazing sun, wrestled in the dust, inherited land equal to their brothers, and publicly mocked men who fled from battle. While Athens confined its daughters to the gymnasium, one city-state dared to raise its women as partners of warriors, not mere bearers of children. This is the forgotten story of Spartan women, the only females in ancient Greece who owned property, spoke with unbridled freedom, and shaped one of history's most fearsome military machines. To understand how revolutionary this was, we must first step back into the rigid world of classical Greece. In Athens, the cradle of democracy, women were legal minors for life. They passed from the ownership of their father to their husband, rarely left the house, and when they did, they walked veiled and silent. Marriage was a transaction. Dowries were returned if the union failed, but the woman herself owned nothing. Education, limited to weaving and household management, public speech. Unthinkable. Plato might have dreamed of female guardians in his republic, but in real Athens, even the most elite woman lived in seclusion. Now cross the mountains to Sparta, a society that seemed to belong to another planet. From the 8th century BC, Lycurgus, the legendary lawgiver, had redesigned Spartan life with one obsessive goal: to create the perfect warrior state. Every custom, every law, every sacrifice served that purpose. And Lycurgus understood a brutal truth most Greeks ignored: weak mothers produce weak sons. If Sparta was to survive surrounded by enemies and a restless helot slave population that outnumbered citizens 10-1, its women could not be fragile ornaments. They had to be strong, intelligent, and fiercely loyal to the state above all else, even above their own husbands and children. Spartan girls began their transformation from the moment they were born. Unlike in Athens, where female infants were sometimes exposed if the family already had enough daughters, Spartan girls were inspected at birth just like boys. If deemed healthy, they were raised by their mothers, not wet nurses, to ensure strong bodies and unbreakable will. At age 7, while Athenian girls learned the loom, Spartan girls left home for the agoge, the same relentless state education system that forged their brothers into hoplites. They ran, wrestled, threw the javelin, hurled the discus, and competed in foot races, all naked just like the boys, in full view of the community. Plutarch records that this nudity was deliberate, to toughen them against shame, to honor their bodies as instruments of the state, and crucially to display their physical fitness to potential future husbands. But physical training was only half the revolution. Spartan women received a full education in music, dance, and poetry. They memorized the war songs of Tertius and performed the fierce Pyrrhic dance armed with shield and spear. They were taught rhetoric and quick-witted verbal combat. The result? A culture that prized sharp tongues in women as much as sharp spears in men. When a foreign woman once complained to Gorgo, wife of King Leonidas, "You Spartan women are the only ones who rule your men," Gorgo shot back, "because we are the only ones who give birth to men." That was not boasting. It was ideology made flesh,